dropped that scooter, they started running after me up my driveway. These people were literally running up my driveway after me. They weren't coming from my scooter. They weren't coming from my shoes. They were coming from my organs. Bro, my chunky little self had never ran so fast in her life. I could have won a marathon. I deserve an Olympic award. I ran up the steps and I got inside the house. I pushed the door closed. And they're trying to open the door. I'm trying to catch my breath, trying to breathe. I'm screaming and telling my mom what's going on. She was freaking out. Comes out the door with a spoon. I don't know what she was planning to do with that spoon. All I know, now that I'm a mom, this spoon is a weapon. Anything's a weapon when you're trying to defend your children. My mom says all she saw was people running down the street. She never got to see their faces. And no, there was no surveillance footage because we lived in the hood. The downfall of the hood. I got more story times about living in the hood. But anyways, this story time isn't meant to make fun of people who are kidnapped because it's scary. And it's a big thing in the United States. I can laugh about this now, but sadly others can't. Take care of your children. Watch them at all times. You can't trust nobody.
Guys, I have the freaking funniest story time ever. So I went this past weekend with my family. It was super fun. We had a great time. My sister and I went to the public bathroom on the campground, and we sat in the stalls next to each other. And I texted my sister, I fart. And she replies, let it rip. This is where it gets bad. A lady sits in the stall next to me, and my sister doesn't know about it. She thinks that we are the only people in this public bathroom. And the lady next to us literally blows up the toilet. It was explosive. And my sister still doesn't know that was me. She still thinks that we're the only two people in the bathroom. So she lets the loudest cackle ever. Wicked Witch of the West has entered the public bathroom. And so I immediately start texting my sister. That was me that just pooted. And the laughing immediately stops. And the lady continued blowing up the toilet. And we hid in the stalls until she left.
Story time! Our freshman year of high school, we decided that it would be super funny if we switched classes for the whole day.
Since we were new to the school, no one could tell us apart, especially our teachers.
We planned out our day, we would stay in the same hair, and we gave each other our schedule.
For everything we did in class, we kind of had different personalities, so she was more of the troublemaker and I was just kind of quiet.
We ended up giving each other our backpacks, homework, and we switched IDs.
So I walked into my first class and some of the kids started to notice that I wasn't Mackenzie except for the teacher, so I was good.
My first block went really good too. No one really noticed at all, actually.
I went to fourth block and none of the teachers noticed that we switched classes.
By lunchtime, pretty much knew, and everyone was talking about it. So after lunch, we were going into our 5th period class, and Malia didn't tell me about your presentation due. I obviously wasn't prepared, and that's when my teacher noticed.
I was just chilling in my class, and then my teacher got a phone call.
Like for part 2! Part 2! So I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail about how my teacher found out I wasn't Malia. So this was a group project, and my group was helping me because they knew I was Mackenzie, not Malia. They told me exactly what to say. When our group was presented, everything was going perfectly smooth, but then my teacher says in these exact words, "You're not Malia, are you?" At this point, I was like, I'm not gonna deny it, she knows. So I was like, yeah, I'm Mackenzie. And then she called my teacher.
So I was in her English class taking a test for her. And so my teacher gets a phone call and he picks it up and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're right." So he hangs up the phone and he looks directly at me and my heart's like pounding because I'm so scared to see what he's about to say. And then he says, "You're not Mackenzie, are you?" And I was like, "No." So I'm like freaking out because everyone's staring at me and I thought I was gonna get in trouble. And then he said, "You totally got me. I thought you were Mackenzie." He told me I was welcome back anytime and I was like, "What?"
Stay tuned for part 3. Part 3, boos.
Even though the English teacher was pretty chill about it, we still had to switch back because our other teacher was really mad.
And they told the principal.
We're both walking back to our classes and I walk in and start laughing, but my teacher was pissed. So I immediately apologized to my teacher because she was so mad, but she told me to have a seat and then we just went on with class.
So I walked back into my class and everyone's just laughing hysterically. Then they started taking pictures of me and post Snapchat story. So for the rest of the day, we just went on with our normal schedules.
So we went home and everything was fine. But then the next day,
so we went to school and everything was quiet, everything was all good until 5th period again.
So the dean comes in my class and I'm like freaking out because he looks at me and he goes, "Let's go to my office." So I'm sitting up in the office and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go grab your sister."
So once I got up to the office, we both had to write a paragraph about what happened and call our parents. We warned our parents the day before and they knew that they were gonna get it.
So long story short, we had Saturday school and it really sucked.
The end!
Story time. So one time when I was at work, I had just gotten back from my lunch and I went to the bathroom and realized someone else was in there. And as I'm chilling on my phone on the toilet, I see the hand of the woman in the stall next to me. And I'm like, oh, she must need some toilet paper. Then I see she starts kind of sliding under my stall and I'm like, and she kind of starts to like seize. And I'm like, oh God. And I get up real quick and I pull up my pants shot. Ma'am, are you okay, ma'am? Just hold on, okay? I'm gonna go get some help, ma'am. Just stay with me, ma'am. So I go find a manager and see him right outside the bathroom, and I said I needed help because there's a woman in the bathroom who just fell off the toilet. So he comes strutting into the bathroom and asks me what's happening. As I'm explaining it to him, she starts to stand up and he goes to help her. He then hands me his phone and tells me to call 911. As I'm explaining what's happening to the person on the phone, my manager tells me to tell them that she overdosed. The lady then realizes what's happening and zooms out the door, and me and my two managers have to follow her out. I'll go to part 2 of this blows up. Part 2 of the time I called 911 at work, and if you weren't here for part 1, here's what happened. I was at work and I went to the bathroom, and a woman fell off the toilet in the stall next to me and started seizing. But it was because she OD'd, and then she woke up and ran out the door. Me and my managers then had to follow her out the doors, and now here we are. The lady then gets in her car and starts to drive away very slowly and very badly. As I'm still on the phone with 911, they tell me to describe her and her car, so I told them what she was wearing and her license plate number. I told them that she started to pull us next to us on the right of the store. We decided to drive to the gas station, which was across the street. As soon as I said that, I saw red and blue flashing lights pulling her over. I hung up with the person on the 911 call and went back to work. Later that night, an officer came in and I showed them the bathroom where we found a needle cap on the ground in her stall. The officer then took my statement, and ever since, I've been scared to go to the bathroom at work.